Well, there's big breaking news coming in at this hour. The US President Donald Trump seems to have taken a big U-turn over Greenland. Now, this is the US President's big Greenland climb down. Now, Trump has reversed the tariff threat. Remember that Trump had threatened tariffs on NATO allies. Now, the US President has gone on to say the Greenland deal framework has been formed. Now, this comes as the US and European Union tensions have de-escalated with the US President Trump's latest move. Now, the US President has gone on to say that there will not be any additional tariffs on EU allies. While the US President seems to have opted out of imposing tariffs on the allies, and Trump has in fact even hailed the productive meet. He's called the meeting with the NATO chief as productive. Apart from this, he's also deputed Marco Rubio as well as J.D. Vance for the Greenland talks. Listen into the reactions coming in on this.
I see what's happening with Greenland. I wonder, because I want Greenland for security. I don't want it for anything else. We have so much rare earth. We don't know what to do with it. We don't need it for anything else. And in terms of Greenland, you have to go 25 feet down through ice to get it. It's not something that a lot of people are going to do or want to do. No, this is security we're talking about. And I can say one thing about Mark. He wants security, and he wants security for all of us. I think we're a member of NATO.
Engaging constructively on international security matters hugely, particularly when it comes to security in the Arctic, and that's the context in which this discussion is going on in relation to Greenland. As we engage constructively, I have made my position clear on our principles and values. The first of those is that the future of Greenland is for the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone. The second is that threats of tariffs to pressurise allies are completely wrong. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to engage constructively. I've had many international calls in recent days. I will not yield. Britain will not yield on our principles and values about the future of Greenland under threats of tariffs. And that is my clear position.
Det er, at præsidentens ambition er jo intakt. Det er selvfølgelig isoleret positivt, at der bliver sagt, at vi kommer ikke til at bruge militær magt. Det skal man selvfølgelig tage ned. Men det får jo ikke den her sag til at gå væk. Fordi det bliver udtrykt jo meget, meget, meget klart, at det er bedre at eje end at lege, og at Danmark ikke kan passe på Grønland. Så udfordringen er der jo stadigvæk. En tænkning omkring territorial integritet, som ikke matcher med de institutioner, vi har. Grønland er en del af NATO, Danmark er en del af NATO, og vi kan godt udøve vores overhøjhed i Grønland.
The details of this framework are scant, and perhaps they don't even exist yet, because President Trump says that he's putting top members of his cabinet, including the vice president and secretary of state, in charge of negotiations. One thing he did make clear, though, is that those February 1st tariffs that he had been threatening to slap on 8 European countries standing in the way of him acquiring Greenland are now off the table. That threat has roiled NATO allies for days now, as have his demands to annex a fellow NATO member's sovereign land. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark, and Europe had been threatening to fight back with a $100 billion tariff package of its own, and lawmakers on Wednesday had actually halted the approval of a trade agreement the EU had struck with the US last summer. So this is a clear de-escalation in what had become an untenable situation for the president, who for weeks now has been very adamant that the U.S.'s complete and total control of Greenland is vital to national and international security, pointing to the threat posed by Russia and China. And in fact, he repeated those claims just hours before this climb down, telling business and political leaders gathered in Davos that the U.S. and the U.S. alone can secure Greenland, and that the U.S. needed to own the island because psychologically America can't defend land it doesn't own. It's not clear, though, if the U.S. is going to have any control over Greenland under this framework. And when the president was asked about this, he would only say it's a forever deal that puts everyone in a position of security. That security, according to experts, is likely to include an increase of NATO's presence in the Arctic to help counter any threat from Russia and China, but also a larger U.S. military presence. Under this decades-old treaty with Denmark, the U.S. already has the authority in perpetuity to build military bases in Greenland. The president said on Wednesday that he wants to build his anti-missile defense system known as the Golden Dome in Greenland. So perhaps this will also be firmed up in this deal. But this is a clear climb down for President Trump, who earlier in the day said he wouldn't take Greenland by force, but it now appears he won't be taking it at all. Tony Waterman, NDTV, Washington.
US President Donald Trump says he is dropping his threat to impose tariffs on several European countries, citing what he describes as a new framework with NATO on Arctic security. Leaving the venue of the World Economic Forum, Trump says he and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte had agreed to the framework of a future deal on Greenland and the Arctic region that will take his February 1st threat of tariffs off the table. He said that it's a deal that's forever, but didn't give much detail beyond that. The abrupt change comes shortly after he told the World Economic Forum in Davos that the US would not use force to pursue control of Greenland.